Welcome back to Dielectric Videos. On today's episode, I'm going to be doing some diagnostic and repair work on my Dell XPS 13 laptop. So this laptop is it's been absolutely fantastic. I've had this for the past 4 years, actually a little over that since 2015, and it's been really awesome. I upgraded the hard drive to a 512 gigabyte SSD. I have basically been using this off and on for the past 4.5 years, and it's been really great. Now, I replaced the battery about 2 years ago, since the original one was getting down to like a 70% state of health, so I wanted to upgrade it. And I put in an aftermarket kind of no-name Amazon battery. And the battery's been fantastic. I've had 2 years of good service out of it. It has been aging normally. Haven't had any reliability problems or like premature shut-off or anything like that. What I have started to notice is that the trackpad and basically the whole front of the laptop has popped up by about 1.5 millimeters. So this is kind of a big issue because the trackpad is really mushy on one side and the right click barely works at all on the other side. And I'm fairly confident that this is due to the battery expanding, basically from being a low performance, kind of cheaper battery pack that at the same time has pretty well been used through its useful life. I mean, you wouldn't expect much more than a couple years out of a good laptop battery within, say, the 70% state of health range. So what I want to do today is take the case back off of it. I have a replacement battery that I can put in, and I'm just going to be putting another replacement in and basically taking this one out for recycling. So let's get inside and see what the battery looks like. So I'm going to start by removing some of the screws on the case back. One of these little pads is basically peeled off and the adhesive has kind of collected a bunch of grime. So might do something about that, but hasn't been a huge priority since otherwise the machine has been working fairly well. So I'm basically going to go around and take out all these screws. If you're wondering about the size, this is a Torx 5 by 1.5, T5 by 1.5. So this is, I believe, a T5 Torx head screw. And there are several of them, including one under this little door, which is actually a small Phillips screw, so that'll be taken out separately. But once you've taken out all the Torx screws, getting into the laptop is fairly trivial. So now that all the screws are out, let's have a look inside this computer. So I believe it should just slide right off the top. And as I suspected, there is definitely a lot of puffing going on in this battery. Looks like it's kind of contained to just one cell, or maybe 2 cells. I believe, so this is a 7.2 volt battery, so this is basically a 2S battery. So I think it has 2 large cells and 2 smaller cells. Basically, I believe 2 are in parallel, and then those are in series with the other 2, which I think are in parallel. And I don't know what's gone on here, but it looks like these 2 in the middle are considerably more puffed than the outer ones, particularly this one here. So we're just going to pull this entire battery out and replace it with a brand new one. I'll start off by unscrewing the retention screws. This can be done with a small Phillips screwdriver.
So I believe that's all the screws. Oh, there's one over here.
So here's the new battery. You can see this one is considerably less puffed looking than the other one. By comparison, this one was pretty bad. This one looks very new. This is another off-brand battery. Usually, it's not always recommended to buy off-brand batteries. If you ask a Dell representative, they're going to tell you only buy Dell officially sanctioned Dell batteries, but I've had pretty good success. I mean, obviously this one has been in service for a really long time and it still performs really well even though it's puffed. So this battery here, I'm hoping will provide similar longevity. This is also a 56 watt hour battery, whereas the original was a 52 watt hour. So I'm also hoping to get a little bit of extended battery life as well out of this one. So I'm going to go ahead and basically line this up, making sure the cable goes underneath the small speaker connector here, and I will connect the battery to the motherboard before placing it or seating it in place. Try to make sure the connector goes in square because you don't want to have any pins get crossed and create a short or a potential voltage issue that could damage the laptop, because that would be rather unfortunate. So you can press fit it like that. Now I can get the rest of the battery in place, so look towards the holes to try to get those lined up. And it should basically just, once it's in place, kind of snap down. And make sure it's fitting snugly. It looks like it's a little off here. Now that's in place, and that's in place. So now the battery's in place, and it should be in good shape to continue. So from here I will get my small Phillips screwdriver and start reinstalling the screws for the battery. If I can get them in the right place. So here's one. So there's the battery back in place in the computer. Now before I put this completely back together, I am going to power it up and verify that this battery is connected properly and works. Now it's been in storage for a little while. I actually got this battery about 6 months ago, planning on replacing the original. So this is going to be potentially quite low in state of charge, but we'll see if it boots up and if it basically reads a good state of charge. So looks like it's at 29%, so that's about the storage charge you would expect. So that's a good indication. The battery's working and it seems like it's connected properly to the computer. So I'll go ahead and put it back in hibernate, and once that finishes shutting down, I will go put the back cover back on, and this will complete the project. Alright, so the new battery has been installed in the laptop. I can turn it back on now, and I can show you that the trackpad now clicks very nicely and decisively, unlike before. So there it is, easy replacement. Took an existing battery with a major puffing problem and replaced it with a brand new one, which should hopefully give me better capacity and potentially a longer service life than this one did. So hopefully you found that informative. I've got some really cool content coming up in future videos, so stay tuned within the next few weeks for those to be published. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching.